Starting out with a joke. Why the Gemara Shabbos Taflam Beis Rabba was Vasech Milsa B'Dichusa Ubarcha Le'Rabbana Pas V'Shvayis V'Yas V'Imsa. Rabba, one of the great, would start a shiur with a joke. Right. Why do people say, Rabbi Feiner, why do you start with a joke? Why? Explain to Feiner. Because when you laugh, there's a hitpatchut haneshama. You open up, you relax.
And now for some breaking sports news. Ever since Yeshiva University started their own crew team, they have consistently lost every race, coming in dead last each time. Despite hours of practice, they've had no luck. TGN recently learned that while you sent a spy to go to Harvard, hide in the bushes along the Charles River, and watch the Harvard team as they practiced. When the unnamed spy returned to Yeshiva, the coach asked him if he'd learned any secrets to Harvard's success. Yes, the spy replied. They have 8 guys rowing and only 1 guy shouting.
So, boys, I stay tuned. There's a Gavaldige podcast. Rabbi Steve Geller does a Gavaldige Zach, and that'll be coming out this week. Torah Giants on Chumash. Shalom Uvrach, and welcome to the weekly piece on the Parsha from Torah Giants on Chumash, written by Rabbi Yitzchak Meir Goodman, the Rabbi Emeritus of Yunus Rockaway. Sit back and enjoy.
Welcome to Torah Giants on Chumash. I'm Steve Geller. You know, many Jews from out-of-town communities that came to New York in the 70s and 80s found a bit of a culture shock. Out-of-town culture was much different, and a lot of us were a source of great entertainment with our howdies, holding doors, greeting strangers, etc. Looking back, I think 2 things are true. 1, you can't really compare a small community where every Jew knows every other Jew to New York, where people often don't know their neighbors 3 and 4 houses down. It's the nature and opportunity of vast numbers of large Jewish communities. And 2, this dynamic has significantly improved over the years. New York is a much kinder and friendlier place amongst the indigenous native New Yorkers. But is this important? Well, the Torah thinks so. This week in our Parsha, speaking about Yehuda, his eyes are red from wine and his teeth are white from milk. The above translation follows Ramban's interpretation, but alternatively, since the Hebrew word for from can also mean more than, we can read the verse as follows. Yehuda's eyes are red from wine and his teeth are white more than milk. This is teaching us a profound point, that showing your white teeth, in other words, smiling at another Jew, is more important than even feeding him or giving him milk to drink. It's a prediction of the great abundance with which Yehuda will be blessed. Even today, most Israeli wine comes from the grapes grown in Yehuda's territory. We have my Rav Eytan Feiner, standing by to help clarify this point.
What's a VIP pass into Gan Eden? This amazing tzibur listening to Torah Giants on Chumash. You want to be a giant? You want to be a gadol? This is the key. You want to go into Olam Haba? You want to go? You don't want the back door. You want to go in the front door? Inchi b'dichion and anoshim smechem anachnu yer smech b'chalko and mesamchem esacheri, make other people happy, but making them smile. Making them smile, show them the whiteness of their teeth. That is a VIP pass to Gan Eden, and that is godless. So this is Torah Giants on Chumash. You want to be a giant? So the giant Rabbi Goodman takes us to Moshe Rabbeinu. Then we get to Vayigdal Moshe. Now is his godless, his greatness, Vayigdal Moshe. So what is his greatness? When we're introduced to Vayigdal Moshe, you know what it means to be a Torah giant? A giant? Gadol, what's the first thing? In the same pasuk, in the same breath, Vayetze Elochav. He goes out to his brethren, someone who takes achrayas, call you Sefarim, I care about every other yid. And then what? He sees an Ish Mitzri hitting an Ish Ivri. What does he do? And he kills him. He does what? He saves him. But how does it introduce that concept? Vayar b'sivlosam. He goes out to his brother, Vayar b'sivlosam nosan eina v'libilios meitzarleim. He cares about them. He wants to take them out of their tsar. Wants to remove their pain, their agony, their suffering, their abject conditions, and wants to get them happy again. That's Vayigdal Moshe. You know what greatness is? I care about another yid. I want to take away another yid's pain. That's greatness. That's godless.
Thank you, Rebbe. Ever since Moshe Rabbeinu, a Sever Panim Yafos, a friendly face, greeting people with a pleasant expression has been the hallmark of our Gedolim, whomever they've encountered. This too is part of being a Ben Torah. But Rebbe, is this true?
So why would anyone want to suffice? Sever Panim Yafos. Sever Panim Yafos, that's the basic, that's the bare minimum. That's like the Meiri, sober. Let them think you're happy. No, the Hayim Madrega writes, the Rambam is, Timi Makamo Kol Odom B'Simcha. Simcha means, I'm genuinely happy. to go in and see you. And I'm going to smile, and then Kamayim upon the pasuk of Mishlei. If you smile at another person, in fact, the Chofetz Chaim used to say that, and Rav Naftali Amstein writes that in our Musar. Let's say somebody doesn't like you. Let's say there's a sechsuk, there's a conflict. You smile at another person. It's very hard to go ahead and be angry at a person who's smiling and greeting you warmly. You get a person presents, you bring them a smile. You can't be upset at that person. That's the key. That's what you got to give them. You got to give them this simcha.
Rav Avraham Kelman notes that when Yaakov encountered Ephraim and Menashe, he kissed them and embraced them. But why must we read about Yaakov's kisses and hugs? Because this is the only place in Bereshis where a Zaidi enjoys an intimate moment with his grandchildren. As Chazal say, Maisa Avos Siman Labanim, the deeds of the fathers are a sign for the children. While the Torah includes many exemplary interactions between children and parents, here it teaches us about the relations between grandchildren and grandparents. Unlike parents whom we're commanded to fear and respect, grandparents are simply to dote on their grandchildren. For children who feel deeply loved will more likely respond to the guidance of their elders. Fortunate is the child who, when rebuked by his parents, finds solace in an understanding Zaidi and Bubby who can restore his self-worth. Even such subtle, sensitive ideas can be found in our Torah if we read it carefully. And I'm not joking when I say that you should like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit the share button, allowing you to paste the link to this video into emails, Facebook, texts, WhatsApp groups, or your social media of choice. You'll be bringing a smile to them, even if they don't like the jokes, and we will all help realize the potential of Rabbi Goodman's life's work, Torah Giants on Chumash.
If you think about it, we are the most resilient people. We're the most persecuted throughout history. And what's the greatest miracle in the history of the world? Rav Yaakov Emden writes famously in his Siddur, in his introduction to the Siddur Beis Yaakov, far greater than the Makkos, far greater than Yetzias Mitzrayim. We're on the threshold now of Sefer Shmos, the book of Exodus. Greater than Yetzias, greater than Kriyas Yamsuf, greater than Maimon Sinai is their survival and the endurance of the Jewish people. We've been the most persecuted people in the history of the world throughout the millennia, and we are here, and we're resilient. How do we do it?
Maminim b'nei maminim.
We're maminim b'nei maminim, and there's an inner simcha that we're happy to be hidden, and we got the greatest gift in the world. And part of that simcha is we know humor has gotten us through so much. The best comedians have oftentimes been hidden. The whole Borscht Belt, etc. Right? We know how to laugh, and we know how to laugh through pain, and we know how to laugh through suffering, and that's the galus. The resiliency is through thick and thin. We're intrinsically, inherently happy people, and we love to make other people laugh, and we love to make other people smile.